Welcome to my channel. Sit back and enjoy the story. The sun was a searing orange disc in the rearview mirror as Mark gripped the steering wheel of his sleek electric car. The highway hummed with the rhythmic drone of traffic, a blur of silver, black, and white sedans rushing toward some unknown destination. He was in the middle of a long drive, and his eyes felt heavy from the endless asphalt. He blinked, a long slow blink meant to soothe the tired muscles. When his eyelids fluttered open, the world had gone quiet. The drone of engines was gone, replaced by a low, rhythmic put-put-put. He looked around, his heart beginning to pound. The asphalt was now a dusty, cracked dirt road. The sleek cars were gone, replaced by boxy, dark-colored automobiles with high roofs and oversized headlights. A man in a pinstripe suit and a fedora tipped his hat as he drove past in a gleaming Model T, its brass radiator catching the afternoon light. Panic seized him. The billboards advertising fast food and cell phones were now hand-painted signs for speakeasy and ice-cold soda. A woman in a long fringed dress walked past his open window, her cloche hat casting a shadow over her face. The air smelled of coal smoke and something sweet, like old-fashioned candies. Mark's hands were shaking on the wheel of his silent, futuristic machine, a strange and utterly foreign object on this impossibly familiar road. He checked his phone. No signal. The date displayed was October 24, 1925. He blinked again, desperate for the familiar hum of the highway, but all he saw was the dust settling on his hood. The silence that followed was more unnerving than the roar of the highway had ever been. A cold dread, deeper than panic, settled in his stomach. He wasn't just lost. He was an impossible artifact, stranded on a road that had long since passed him by. Taking a shaky breath, he put the car in drive, the silent electric motor a stark contrast to the sputtering engines he passed. Up ahead, a small town emerged, a collection of clapboard storefronts and gas lamps. As he entered, a hush fell over the street. The townspeople, who had been strolling along the wooden boardwalks, stopped and stared. Children pointed and whispered, their eyes wide with a mix of fear and awe. A group of men in flat caps and suspenders dropped their newspapers, their mouths agape. They surrounded his car, their faces a mixture of confusion and disbelief as they peered at the seamless metal, the smooth lines, and the glowing dashboard. One man, bolder than the rest, reached out a tentative hand and touched the polished side of the vehicle, as if to confirm it was real. Mark felt like an alien visitor, trapped inside a glass bubble, his every movement observed by a world that could not comprehend his very existence. "What in the blazes is this thing?" a man with a handlebar mustache shouted, his voice a mix of awe and suspicion. The crowd erupted in a clamor of questions and exclamations. "Is it some new kind of horseless carriage?" A woman in a long coat wondered aloud. Mark's mind raced, trying to find words that would make sense to them, but the language of his world felt useless here. A man with a badge on his vest, his face weathered and stern, pushed through the crowd. "Son, I'm Sheriff Thompson. Now, you tell me what you're doing in my town with this contraption." Mark's throat was dry. "It's an electric car," he managed, his voice a shaky whisper. From the future, a ripple of laughter, then uneasy murmuring, passed through the crowd. The sheriff's expression hardened. "The future looks to me like you've been imbibing a little too much of that bathtub gin. Now, step out of the vehicle." Slowly, Mark's heart sank. They didn't see a wonder of technology. They saw a lunatic. He slowly opened the door, the silent electronic latch clicking softly, a sound so out of place it felt like a gunshot. His heart pounding. Mark's hand found the door handle, but instead of opening it, he slammed his foot on the accelerator. The silent electric car surged forward, a shockwave of speed against the sputtering vehicles of the past. The crowd scattered with startled yelps and shouts. The sheriff and a few men scrambled into a boxy Ford and began a clumsy pursuit, their engine coughing and wheezing. Mark's car, however, was in a different league. He watched them in his rearview camera, their struggle to keep up a pitiful chase. The road ahead was long and empty, and he didn't slow down. He pushed the car to its top speed, the world outside becoming a dizzying, dusty blur. The wind howled against the windows, a single high-pitched scream. He squeezed his eyes shut, a panicked, desperate blink. When he opened them, the sound was back. The roar of a diesel engine, the rhythmic hum of a modern freeway. Blurs of chrome and steel cars shot past, their sleek shapes familiar and comforting. The dusty road was gone, replaced by a smooth paved highway. The sun was still a searing orange disc in his rearview mirror, but the date on his dashboard was now correct. He was back. A shaky, breathless laugh escaped him, half relief, half disbelief. He glanced at his reflection in the rearview mirror and saw a man who had seen a ghost, his face pale and his eyes wide. Forever haunted by a road he had traveled for only a moment, but that had lasted 100 years. Back in the year 1920, after the sheriff chased the car after it disappears, and when they got to report it to the police station, they draw the car a Cybertruck. The police amazed by the peculiar design and sheer power and acceleration. By the time when the police hide the design, a peculiar inventor stole the blueprint of the car and analyzed it in depth, unlocking the secrets of this car, and would later on build the first car based on that design, paving to the future car day and creating a paradox of the car of the future. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Until then.